Hello and welcome, everybody. This is your sports report with Captain Boring. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Don't forget to like and subscribe here on YouTube, as your sports report is the only way to get your YouTube. I think we'll probably try to do another podcast episode of the 4th and 1 podcast to get to you that next Friday. Week's just a little busy this week. Wasn't able to get an episode in. Also, we're kind of slowly starting to ramp back up. Spring practices are over, and I just have to do some research. What teams lost what? Too much with the transfer portal to I wanted to wait until after spring practices, after the spring transfer window closed, to make sure the kids are relatively staying put. So we'll get you an all-new episode, probably not this coming Friday, but next. But until then, I will fill you in with everything you need to know from the world of sports, including that on Christmas, the NFL's going to streaming. They've done Peacock. They've done Amazon Prime Video. Now they're moving to Netflix. Netflix is going to stream the 2 Christmas Day games between the Steelers and Chiefs and Texans Ravens. It will be the first time ever that the NFL will show games on Netflix. Netflix does do a documentary called Quarterback, which follows 3 NFL quarterbacks around the league during the season. Most notably in season 1, they followed Patrick Mahomes around. So that's just a short jump, kind of hop, skipping away. If they're already following and using NFL footage, they might as well just show NFL live footage there. So this will be the first time that the NFL will show actual games on Netflix. And soon, I am sure most of the games will be headed towards streaming way. Alrighty, last night, I should say, the Denver Nuggets superstar Nikola Jokic has accepted his 3rd MVP award in 4 seasons. He is now halfway to Michael Jordan. He is now just one shy of LeBron James. He is 29 years old. He has been the star of the league for really the past 4 seasons. He's been the most efficient player. His numbers have been off the chart. He assists, he rebounds, now he even defends. He has been named the most valuable player for the NBA for the 3rd time in 4 seasons. But let's take you back to Monday night, where the Boston Celtics were up 2-1 after the Cleveland Cavaliers stole Game 2. That might be it, without their superstar Donovan Mitchell. It was a close game throughout, but the Cleveland Cavaliers could just not get it done. Jason Tatum had 33 points and 11 rebounds. Jaylen Brown had an additional 27 points as the Boston Celtics beat the Cleveland Cavaliers 109-102 to take a commanding 3-1 lead, with Game 5 looming. In the Western Conference, in a battle between the number 1 seed out west, Oklahoma City Thunder, and the Dallas Mavericks. The Dallas Mavericks had won 2 straight games. They had battled all the way back. They had been the first team to win 2 games against the Thunder in the postseason and score over 100 points. That was neither were the case in Game 4. Behind 34 points from Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 4 or 5 starters scored in double figures, and that was all the Oklahoma City needed to beat the Mavericks 100-96. They, in fact, do tie this series at 2 and force a pivotal Game 5, where I did confirm it for you this morning, ladies and gentlemen. The winner of Game 5 in a series tied at 2 goes on to win the series 83% of the time. Last night, after getting blown out in Game 4 to let the Pacers tie this series at 2, Jalen Brunson said no more. He now has 4 games of 40-plus points this postseason. That only trails LeBron for most all-time in the postseason. Behind 44 points from Brunson, the New York Knicks blew out the Indiana Pacers, returned the favor from Game 4 to take a 3-2 series lead, 83% chance of winning it now. 121-91 as this thing goes back to Indiana for Game 6. And then last night, on the night that he received his third MVP, Nikola Jokic backed it up with 40 points, 13 assists and 7 rebounds, and they hammered the Minnesota Timberwolves. 4 or 5 starters scored in double figures. They got an additional 10 points from Christian Brown off the bench, 112-97, as the Denver Nuggets, who lost the first 2 games of this series, now have won 3 straight and have the Minnesota Timberwolves on the brink of elimination. Coming at you tonight is an elimination game for the Cleveland Cavaliers, and they're on the road trailing the Boston Celtics 3-1. They try to stave off elimination there in Beantown. At 9:30, the winner of this game will go on to win this series, is likely to go on to win this series 83%. And that is Mavericks Thunder. It is in Oklahoma City. Mavericks won 1 on the road earlier and then lost 1 at home. This series is tied at 2. So 9:30, winner of this one probably winning the series. And then tomorrow, Thursday, it is an elimination game for your Minnesota Timberwolves, trailing 3-2 at home against the defending champs Denver Nuggets, against a bear that you poked, against an MVP winner. The Denver Nuggets try to close out that series on the road tomorrow on Thursday. Let's go over and take a look at how the Lord Stanley Cup chase is going. And I'll tell you what, there is no quit down in them Carolinas, because the Hurricane, who were at one point trailing this series 3-0 on the brink of elimination against the best team in hockey, at least record-wise, then in this game, they won Game 4, so now they're trailing 3-1. So in Game 5, let's pick it up there. Jacob Trouba for the Rangers scored. The Hurricane are now down 1-0 in an elimination game on the road in New York. Well, they had nothing to worry about. They got four third period goals, started off by Jordan Stahl and then ended by Martin Necas. They go on to win game number 5 and force a game 6 back in Carolina. The Rangers are trying to avoid a 3-0 series lead collapse that has sometimes plagued the NHL. However, it would be a very New York thing to do, to get everyone's hopes up and then just absolutely choke on it. Alrighty, well, the team that made the most moves at the trade deadline, that was so hot, that ran through their first round, is now on the brink of elimination, and that's the Colorado Avalanche. In Game 4 at home, it was nothing but Dallas all the way through. 1 in the first, 2 in the second, 2 in the third. Wyatt Johnson got things off in the first period. Sam Steele finished things off in the third. The lone goal coming in the second period for the Colorado Avalanche, as now they are on the brink of elimination, down 3-1. It was game number 5 between the Florida Panthers and the Boston Bruins. And here's the deal. The Florida Panthers were up in this series 3-1. Well, the Bruins just won't go away, trying to make their own comeback after last season conceding a 3-1 lead against the same Florida Panthers. Charlie McAvoy got the game-winning goal in the third period. Boston wins 2-1 and now only trails in this series 3-2 with Game 6 back in Boston. And then finally, and probably the closest, at least series-wise, series in hockey, the Vancouver Canucks and Edmonton Oilers continue to trade body shots. This time in Game 4, it was Edmonton just delivering an absolute blow to the kidneys of the Vancouver Canucks. They get a 3-2 win behind Evan Bouchard. He gets a goal in the third period. That would be the game winner. Leon Draisaitl also got a goal in the first period. That's his 8th this postseason. They get a 3-2 win and tie this series at 2 for a pivotal Game 5 on the road back in Vancouver. Coming at you tonight is an elimination game for those folks in Colorado. The Avs are down 3-1, and they're on the road in Dallas. Try to stave off elimination against the Stars. On Thursday night, it is another elimination game for the Carolina Hurricane, but this time they're at home. They've won 2 straight games, trying to force a Game 7 back in Madison Square Garden as they trail that series 3-2. And then finally, it is a pivotal Game 5 on the road for the the Edmonton Oilers. Houston Oilers is an old NFL team. This series tied at 2. Winner of this game, I'm sure, goes on to win the series 80+% of the time. I don't have those stats readily available. But winner of Game 5 probably goes on to win a good majority of the time. Canucks, Oilers, Thursday night in Vancouver. And that'll do it for this rendition of your Sports Report. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Until next time, know that God loves you. I pray that God blesses you. Wash your hands, you filthy animals. We will see you on Friday. I'll get you all wrapped up. See if the Cavs have been eliminated, if the Avs have been eliminated. And that rhymed. So from there, I'm going to leave you with all the time. See what I did there? Yeah, I messed it up at the end. All right. Peace out, everyone. Wash those hands.